Can I read Sai Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Sure.
Om Agyantimirandasya Gyananjana चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखावितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश कुपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुप एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवै गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जगद्गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।
Jai. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for reading. Okay, so today we continue chapter 2 from text 58, and we will try to finish this chapter today. I'm not sure, maybe. Let's see. I don't remember how long the purports are, so let's see. Okay, I can read the first one. Yada samharate chayam kurmonganiva sarvasaha indriyanindriyartyebhyas tasya prajna pratisthita. Yada, when, samharate, winds up, cha, also, ayam, all these, kurmaha, tortoise, angani, limbs, iva, like, sarvasaha, altogether, indriyani, senses, indriya, indriyartebhya, from the sense objects, tasya, his, prajna, consciousness, prastita, fixed up. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. One who is able to withdraw his senses from sense objects, as the tortoise draws his limbs within the shell, is to be understood as truly situated in knowledge. Purport. The test of a yogi, devotee, or self-realized soul is that he is able to control the senses according to his plan. Most people, however, are servants of the senses and are thus directed by the dictation of the senses. That is the answer to the question as to how the yogi is situated. The senses are compared to venomous serpents. They want to act very loosely and without restriction. The yogi or the devotee must be very strong to control the serpents, like a snake charmer. It never allows them to act independently. There are many injunctions in the revealed scriptures. Some of them are do nots and some of them are do's. Unless one is able to follow the do's and the do nots, restricting oneself from sense enjoyment, it is not possible to be firmly fixed in Krishna consciousness. The best example set herein is the tortoise. The tortoise can at any moment wind up his senses and exhibit them again at any time for particular purposes. Similarly, the senses of the Krishna conscious person are used only for some particular purpose in the service of the Lord and are withdrawn otherwise. Keeping the senses always in the service of the Lord is the example set by the analogy of the tortoise, who keep the senses within. Hare Krishna. Who wants to read the next one?
Very well. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinaha rasavarjam rasapyasya param drishtva nivartate. Vishaya, objects for sense enjoyment, vinivartante, a practice to be refrained from, niraharasya, by negative restrictions, dehinaha, for the embodied, rasavarjam, giving up the taste, rasa, sense of enjoyment, api, all that there is, ashya, his, param, far superior things, drishtva, by experiencing, nivartate, ceases from. Translation: the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, though the taste for sensory objects remains. But seizing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness. Purport: unless one is transcendentally situated, it is not possible to cease from sense enjoyment. The process of restriction from sense enjoyment by rules and regulations is something like restricting a diseased person from certain types of eatables. The patient, however, neither likes such restrictions nor loses his tastes for eatables. Similarly, sense restrictions by some spiritual process like Ashtanga Yoga in the matter of yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, etc., is recommended for less intelligent persons who have no better knowledge. But one who has tasted the beauty of the Supreme Lord Krishna in the course of his advancement in Krishna consciousness no longer has a taste for dead material things. Therefore, restrictions are there for the less intelligent neophytes in the spiritual advancement of life. But such restrictions are only good if one actually has a taste for Krishna consciousness. When one is actually Krishna conscious, he automatically loses his taste for pale things. Ribo. Anyone can continue next.
यया तो यया ततो हि अपि कौन्तेय पुरुषस्य विपाश्चिता इन्द्रियाणि परमाथिनि हरन्ति प्रसभां मनः yatata while endeavoring high he certainly api in spite of Konteya, O son of Kunti, Purushasya of the man, Vipashicha, full of discriminating knowledge, Indriyani, the sense, Paramathini, simulated Haranti, throws forcefully, Parashbham, Parashabham, by force, Manaha, the mind. Translation: the senses are so strong and impetuous and urgent that they forcibly carry away that mind, even of a man of discrimination who is endeavoring to control them. Purport: there are many learned sages, philosophers, and transcendentalists who try to conquer these senses, but in spite of their endeavors, even the greatest of them sometimes fall victim into material sense enjoyment due to the agitated mind. Even Vishwamitra, a great sage and perfect yogi, was misled by Menaka into sex enjoyment. Although the yogi was endeavoring for sense control with severe types of penance and yoga practice, and of course there are so many similar instances in the history of the world. Therefore, it is very difficult to control the mind and the senses without being fully Krishna conscious, without engaging the mind in Krishna, and cannot see such a material engagement. A practical example is given by Sri Yamunacharya, great saint and devotee, who says, since my mind has been engaged in this service of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, and I have been enjoying an ever new transcendental humor. Whenever I think of sex life with a woman, my face at once turns from it and I spit at the thought. Krishna conscious is such a transcendently nice that thing that automatically material enjoyment become distasteful. It is as if hungry man had satisfied his hunger by a sufficient quantity of nutritious eatables. Maharaja Ambarish also conquered a great yogi, Durvasa Muni, simply because his mind was engaged in Krishna consciousness. तानि सर्वाणि सम्मय युक्त आसीत् मत्परः वशे हि यस्येन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रगा प्रतिष्ठिता. Tani, those senses, Sarvani, all, Samyamya, keep under control, Yukta, being engaged, Asita, being so situated, Matta Paraha, in relationship with me, Vase, in full subjection, he certainly, Yasya, one whose Indriyani senses, Tasya, he, Prajna consciousness, Pratishtita, fixed. Translation: one who restrains his sense and fixes his consciousness upon me. He is known as a man of the steady, intelligent purpose. That the highest conception of yoga perception is perfection is Krishna consciousness is clearly explained in this verse. And unless one is Krishna conscious, it is not at all possible to control the senses. As cited above, the great sages Durvasa Muni picked a quarrel with Maharaj Ambrish, and Durvasa Muni unnecessarily became angry out of the pride and therefore could not check his sense. On the other hand, the king, although not as a powerful a yogi as a sage, but a devotee of the Lord, silently tolerate all the sages' injustice and thereby emerged victorious. The king was able to control his sense because of the following qualification as a mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Savahi manha Krishna padarvindo Savahi manah कृष्णपदारविन्दो वक्षामि वैकुण्ठगुणान् रुवर्णवने करो हरेरमन्द्रीदमरे मर्जानतिषु श्रुतिं चक्रतुच्छ्रिता सत्तकथादय मुकुन्द मुकुन्दलिङ्गल्य दर्शने दृशो तद्भर्त्या गतरास्पर्शे नगसङ्गमं गृहाणां च तत्पदा सरोजसोरभे श्रीमत्तुलस्या रसनं तद् अर्पिते पदौ हरे पदौ हरेर्क्षित्र पदौ न सुरपने शिरो ऋषिकेश पदाभिवामन्दने कमाम च दस्येन तु कामा कामयाय यथामसिश्लोक जनश्रया रतिः. King Ambrish fixed his mind on the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, engaged his word in describing the abode of the Lord, his hand in cleansing the temple of the Lord, his ears in hearing the pastimes of the Lord, his eyes in seeing the form of the Lord, his body in touching the body of the devotee, his nostril in smelling the flavor of the flowers offered to the lotus feet of the Lord, his tongue in tasting the Lord, tulsi leaves and offer to him, his legs in traveling to the holy places where his temple is situated, in his head in offering obscense unto the Lord, his desire in fulfilling the desire of the Lord. All these qualifications made him fit to become a Mat Paraha devotee of the Lord. Bhagavatam 9.4.18. That word Mattaparaha is most significant in this connection. How one can become a Mattaparaha is described in the life of Maharaj Ambrish Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan, a great scholar and acharya in the line of Mattaparaha remarks Madhbhakti Pravena Sarvendriyani Vijaya Pravikta Satma Drishta Sulabhita Bhava. The senses can be completely controlled only by the strength of devotional service of Krishna, although also the example of fire is sometimes given. As the small flames within burn everything within the room. Similarly, Lord Vishnu, situated in the heart of the yogi, burn up all kind of impurities. The Yoga Sutra also prescribe meditation on the Vishnu and not meditation on the void. The so-called yogis who meditate on something which is not the Vishnu form simply waste their time in a vain search for him after some Panthasma Goriya, and we have to be Krishna conscious, devoted to the personality of Godhead. This is the aim of real yoga.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Okay, who wants to be next one?
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Shri Ram Prabhupada.
Shah Prabhupada.
ध्यायतो विषयं पुंसा तेषु पज्यते संगत संजयते काम कामत् क्रोध विजायते ध्यायत while contemplating Viswayan sense objects pumsa of the person sanga attachment tesu in the sense objects upajayate develops sanga attachment sanjayate develops kama desire kama from desire krodha anger abhijayate becomes manifest. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. While contemplating the objects of the senses, a person develops attachment for them, and from such attachment, lust develops, and from lust, anger arises. Purport. One who is not Krishna conscious is subjected to material desires while contemplating the objects of the senses. The senses require real engagements, and if they are not engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, they will certainly seek engagement in the service of materialism. In the material world, everyone, including Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, to say nothing of other demigods in the heavenly planet, is subjected to the influence of sense objects. And the only method to get out of this puzzle of material existence is to become Krishna conscious. Lord Shiva was deep in meditation, but when Parvati agitated him for sense pleasure, he agreed to the proposal, and as a result, Kartikeya was born. When Haridas Thakur was a young devotee of the Lord, he was similarly allured by the incarnation of Maya Devi. But Haridas easily passed the test because of his unalloyed devotion to Lord Krishna. As illustrated in the above-mentioned verse of Sri Jamunacharya, a sincere devotee of the Lord shuns all material sense enjoyment due to his higher taste for spiritual enjoyment in the association of the Lord. That is the secret of success. One who is not therefore Krishna consciousness, however powerful he may be in controlling the senses by artificial repression, is sure ultimately to fail, for the slightest thought of sense pleasure will agitate him to gratify his desires. Text 63. क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोह स्मृति विभ्रमः स्मृति भ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति. Krodha from anger, bhavati take place, sammoha perfect illusion, sammohat from illusion, sliti of memory, vibram bewilderment, sliti bhamsat after bewilderment of memory, buddhi nasa loss of intelligence, buddhi nasa then from loss of intelligence, pranasati falls down. Translation: from anger, delusion arises, and from delusion, bewilderment of memory. When memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost, and when intelligence is lost, one falls down again into the material pool. Purport: by development of Krishna consciousness, one can know that everything has its use in the service of the Lord. Those who are without knowledge of Krishna consciousness artificially try to avoid material objects, and as a result, although they desire liberation from material bondage, they do not attain to the perfect stage of renunciation. On the other hand, a person in Krishna consciousness knows how to use everything in the service of the Lord. Therefore, he does not become a victim of material consciousness. For example, an impersonalist, the Lord or the absolute being, being impersonal, cannot eat, whereas an impersonalist tries to avoid good eatables. A devotee knows that Krishna is the supreme enjoyer and that he eats all that is offered to him in devotion. So after offering good eatables to the Lord, the devotee takes the remnants called prasadam. Thus, everything becomes spiritualized and there is no danger of a downfall. The devotee takes prasadam in Krishna consciousness, whereas the non-devotee rejects it as material. The impersonalist therefore cannot enjoy life due to his artificial renunciation. And for this reason, a slight agitation of the mind pulls him down again into the pool of material existence. It is said that such a soul, even though rising up to the point of liberation, falls down again due to his not having suffered in devotional service. Hare Krishna. Dandavata.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Ragadvesha vimuktaisthu vishayan indriyaischarana atma vaisar videyatma prasadam abhigachati. Raga, attachment, Dvesha, detachment, Vimuktai, by one who has been freed from such things, to but Vishayan, sense objects, Indriyai, by the senses, Charan, acting, Atmavasha, Atmavasha, Vashyai, one who has control over, Videyatma, one who follows regulated freedom, Prasadam, the mercy of the Lord, Abhigachati, attains. Translation: one who can control his senses by practicing the regulated principles of freedom can obtain the complete mercy of the Lord and thus become free from all attachment and aversion. Purport: It is already explained that one may externally control the senses by some artificial process, but unless the senses are engaged in the transcendental service of the Lord, there is every chance of a fall. Although the person in full Krishna consciousness may apparently be on the sensual plane, because of his being Krishna consciousness, he has no attachment to sensual activities. The Krishna conscious person is concerned only with the satisfaction of Krishna and nothing else. Therefore, he is transcendental to all attachment. If Krishna wants, the devotee can do anything which is ordinarily undesirable. And if Krishna does not want, he shall not do that which he would have ordinarily done for his own satisfaction. This is actually also one answer to that Aryan Prabhu's question. He asked about the Draupadi. Do you remember?
Yes, Prabhu.
So this answers him that if Krishna wants, the devotee can do anything which is ordinarily undesirable.
Yes.
Therefore, to act or not to act is within his control because he acts only under the direction of Krishna. This consciousness is the causeless mercy of the Lord, which the devotee can achieve in spite of his being attached to the sensual platform. Okay, 65. Prasade sarva dukkhanam hanirasyoparjayate prasanna chetaso yasu buddhi paryavatishtate. Prasade, on achievement of the causeless mercy of the Lord. Sarva, all, dukkhanam, material miseries. Hani, destruction. Asya, his, upajayate, takes place. Prasanna chetasaha, of the happy-minded. He certainly. Asu, very soon. Buddhi, intelligence. Pari, sufficiently. Avastitate, established. Translation. For one who is situated in the divine consciousness, the threefold miseries of material existence exist no longer. In such a happy state, one's intelligence soon becomes steady. Situated. Haribol. Okay, who wants to read the next one?
Hare Krishna. Nasti buddhira yuktasya nacha yuktasya bhavana nacha bhavayata kshantir ashantasya kutak sukham na asti. There cannot be buddhi, transcendental intelligence, ayuktasya, of one who is not connected with Krishna consciousness, na, neither, cha, and ayuktasya, of one devoid of Krishna consciousness, bhavana, mind fixed in happiness, na, neither, cha, and abhavayata, one who is not fixed, shanti, peace, ashantisya, of the unpeaceful, kutaha, where is, sukham, happiness. Translation. One who is not in transcendental consciousness can have neither a controlled mind nor steady intelligence, without which there is no possibility of peace. And how can there be any happiness without peace? Purport. Unless one is in Krishna consciousness, there's no possibility of peace. So it is confirmed in the 5th chapter 529 that when one understands that Krishna is the only enjoyer of all the good results of sacrifice and penance, and that he is the proprietor of all universal manifestations, that he is the real friend of all living entities, then only can one have real peace. Therefore, if one is not in Krishna consciousness, there cannot be a final goal for the mind. Disturbance is due to want disturbance is due to want of an ultimate goal, and when one is certain that Krishna is the enjoyer, proprietor, and friend of everyone and everything, then one can, with a steady mind, bring about peace. Therefore, one who is engaged without a relationship with Krishna is certainly always in distress and is without peace, however much one may take a show of peace and spiritual advancement in life. Krishna consciousness is a self-manifested peaceful condition which can be achieved only in a relationship with Krishna. Indriyanam hicharatam yanmano anuvadhiyate tadasya harati pragyam vayurnavamivambhasi. Indriyanam of the senses, he certainly, charatam, while herding over, yet that manaha, mind, anuvidhiyate, becomes constantly engaged, that asya, his, harati, takes away, pragyam, intelligence, vayu, wind, navam, a boat, iva, like, amphasi, on the water. Translation: as a boat on the water is swept away by a strong wind, even one of the senses on which the mind focuses can carry away immense intelligence. Purport: unless all of the senses are engaged in the service of the Lord, even one of them engaged in sense gratification can deviate the devotee from the path of transcendental advancement. As mentioned in the life of Maharaj Jambarisha, all of the senses must be engaged in Krishna consciousness, for that is the correct technique for controlling the mind. Haribol. Anyone can continue next.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, can I read some more verse?
Hare Krishna, yes, Prabhu.
तस्मात् यस्य महाबाहो निगृहीतानि सर्वसा इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियाभ्यास तस्य प्रतिष्ठिता तस्मात् therefore yasya of one's Mahabaho, O mighty armed one, Grihitani, so carved down, Sarvasa, all around, Indriyani, the senses, Indriya, Arthebhya, for the sake of sense object, Tasya, his, Pragya, intelligence, Pratisthita, fixed, translation. Therefore, O mighty armed one, whose senses are restrained from their objects, is certainly of steady intelligence. Bhagavad, as enemies are carved by superior force, similarly the senses can be carved not by any human endeavor, but only by keeping them engaged in the service of the Lord. One who has understood this, that only by Krishna consciousness is only really established in intelligence, and that one should practice this art under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, is called sadhaka, or a suitable candidate for liberation. Text 69. Janishta sarvabhutanam tasam jagrati samayami jasam jagrati bhutani tanisha pasutto mune. Yeah, what Nisha is night, Sarvo or Bhutanam of living entities, Tasam in that Jagrati wakeful, Samayami the self-control Jasam in which Jagrati awake Bhutani all beings, Sa that is Nisha night, Pasyate for the introspective Mune sage. Translation: what is night for all beings is the time of awakening for the self-controlled, and the time of awakening for all being is night for the introspective sage. Harvard. There are two classes of intelligent men. The one is intelligent in material activities for sense gratification, and the other is introspective and awake to the cultivation of self-realization. Activities of the introspective sage or thoughtful man are night for persons materially absorbed. Materialistic persons remain asleep in such a night due to their ignorance of self-realization. The introspective sage remain alert in the night of the materialistic man. The sage feels transcendental pleasure in the gradual advancement of spiritual culture, whereas the man in materialistic activities, being asleep to self-realization, dreams of varieties of sense pleasure, feeling sometimes happy and sometimes distressed in his sleeping condition. The introspective man is always indifferent to materialistic happiness and distress. He goes on with his self-realization activities undisturbed by material reaction. So anyone can, or I can read one more.
Hare Krishna, yes, Prabhu.
Okay, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Apurya Apurya manam achala pratistham samudram apo provisanti jadvat tatta kama jam provisanti sarve sa santim apunati na kama kami apuramanam always filled achala pratistham steadily situated samudram the ocean apo the water provisanti enter jadvat as the but so kama desires jump unto one provisionti enter survey all saw that person something peace apunati achieves na not kama kami one who desires to fulfill desires. Translation: a person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires that enter like rivers into the ocean, which is ever being filled but is always still, can alone achieve peace, and not the man who strives to satisfy such desires. Harvard. Although the vast ocean is always filled with water, it is always, especially during the rainy season, being filled with much more water. But the ocean remains the same, steady. It is not agitated, nor does it cross beyond the limit of its brink. That is also true of a person fixed in Krishna consciousness. As long as one has the material body, the demand of the body for sense gratification will continue. The devotee, however, is not disturbed by such desires because of his fullness. A Krishna consciousness man is not in need of anything because the Lord fulfills all his material necessities. Therefore, he is like the ocean, always full in himself. Desires may come to him like the waters or the rivers that flow into the ocean, but he is steady in his activities, and he is not even slightly disturbed by desires for sense gratification. That is the proof of a Krishna consciousness man, one who has lost all inclination for material sense gratification. Although the desires are present, because he remains satisfied in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, he can remain steady like the ocean and therefore enjoy full peace. Others, however, who fulfill desires even up to the limit of liberation, not to speak of material success, never attain peace. The fruitive workers, the salvationists, and also the yogis who are after mystic powers are all unhappy because of unfulfilled desires. But the person in Krishna consciousness is happy in the service of the Lord, and he has no desires to be fulfilled. In fact, he does not even desire liberation from the so-called material bondage. The devotee of Krishna have no material desire, and therefore they are in perfect peace. Very beautiful verse. Hare Krishna. Guruji.
Hare Krishna. विहाय कामान्यः सर्वान् पुंश्चरति निःस्पृहा निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः स शान्तिमभिगच्छति. Vihaya, after giving up kaman, all material desires for sense gratification, yaha, the person, sarvan, all, puman, a person, charati, lives, nishpraha, desireless, nirmama, without a sense of proprietorship, nirhankaraha, without false ego, saha, all, shantim, perfect peace, abhigachati, attains. Translation: a person who has given up all desires for sense gratification, who lives free from desires, who has given up all sense of proprietorship and is devoid of false ego, he alone can attain real peace. Purport: to become desireless means not to desire anything for sense gratification. In other words, desire for becoming Krishna conscious is actually desirelessness. To understand one's actual position as the eternal servitor of Krishna without falsely claiming this material body to be oneself and without falsely claiming proprietorship over anything in the world is the perfect stage of Krishna consciousness. One who is situated in this perfect stage knows that because Krishna is the proprietor of everything, therefore everything must be used for the satisfaction of Krishna. Arjuna did not want to fight for his own sense satisfaction, but when he became fully Krishna conscious, he fought because Krishna wanted him to fight. For himself, there was no desire to fight. Yes, Arjun Prabhu should have read this also second time, because Arjun also was not fighting for fun. He was also saying that I'm not gonna fight, so I'm not sure why he wants to join the army and why he wants to fight if Krishna doesn't tell him to fight.
Yes, Prabhu.
For himself, there was no desire to fight, but for Krishna, the same Arjuna fought to his best ability. Desire for the satisfaction of Krishna is really desirelessness. It is not an artificial attempt to abolish desires. The living entity cannot be desireless or senseless, but it does not have to change the quality of the desires. A materially desireless person certainly knows that everything belongs to Krishna. Isavasyam idam sarvam. And therefore, he does not falsely claim proprietorship over anything. This transcendental knowledge is based on self-realization, namely knowing perfectly well that everything, every living entity, is the eternal part and parcel of Krishna in spiritual identity, and therefore the eternal position of the living entity is never on the level of Krishna or greater than him. This would have been one nice answer to one YouTube comment, because one person was saying that you are yourself Krishna, that why you consider this Krishna so special, that you are yourself Krishna in a meat suit. So what is the mean to all this? He was arguing like this. So this purport would have an
Yeah.
this understanding of Krishna consciousness is the basic principle of real peace. Okay, one story, next one.
You can read, Prabhu, it's the last verse.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
एषा ब्रह्मस्थितिः पार्था नैनां प्राप्य विमुह्यति स्थितिवास्यम् अन्तकालेऽपि ब्रह्मा निर्वाणं रक्षति. Esa this Brahmi spiritual sthiti situation partha, O son of Pratha, never. Enam this prapya achieving vimuhyati bewilders. Stitva being so situated, asyam being so antakale, and at the end of life, api also Brahma Nirvanam, spiritual kingdom of God, richati, attains. Translation: that is the way of the spiritual and godly life, after attaining which a man is not bewildered. Being so situated, even at the hour of death, one can enter into the kingdom of God. Purport: one can attain Krishna consciousness or divine life at once within a second, or one may not attain such a state of life even after millions of births. It is only a matter of understanding and accepting the fact. Katvanga Maharaja attained this stage of life just a few minutes before his death by surrendering unto Krishna. I didn't remember who is Katvanga Maharaj. Is it in Srimad Bhagavatam?
Yeah, in the second kanda.
Yes, I forgot already. I read the
Yeah, I will share the verse and we will read after this
Yes,
session.
Prabhu. Nirvana means ending the process of materialistic life. According to Buddhist philosophy, there is only void after the completion of this material life. But Bhagavad Gita teaches differently. Actual life begins after the completion of this material life. For the gross materialist, it is sufficient to know that one has to end this materialistic way of life, but for persons who are spiritually advanced, there is another life after this materialistic life. Before ending this life, if one fortunately becomes Krishna conscious, he at once attains that stage of Brahma Nirvana. There is no difference between the kingdom of God and the devotional service of the Lord, since both of them are on the absolute plane. To be engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord is to have attained the spiritual kingdom. In the material world, there are activities of sense gratification, whereas in the spiritual world, there are activities of Krishna consciousness. Attainment of Krishna consciousness, even during this life, is immediate attainment of Brahman. And one who is situated in Krishna consciousness, he has certainly already entered into the kingdom of God. Brahman is such the opposite of matter. Therefore, Brahmistiti is accepted in the Bhagavad Gita, means not on the platform of material activities. Brahmastiti means not on the platform of material activities. Devotional service of the Lord is accepted in the Bhagavad Gita as the liberated stage. Therefore, Brahmastiti is liberation from the material bondage. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has summarized the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita as being the contents for the whole text. In the Bhagavad Gita, the subject matters are Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. In the second chapter, Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga have been clearly discussed, and a glimpse of Bhakti Yoga has been given as the contents for the complete text. Thus, yeah, there's just a glimpse of Bhakti Yoga, but yeah, because the person, I think he just read to like 2 or 3 chapters and then he made the army decision. So he didn't maybe get enough of the Bhakti Yoga information yet. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the second chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of its contents. Haribol. So what is chapter 3? Does someone remember?
About Karma Yoga.
Haribol. Yes, Prabhu. Okay, tomorrow we continue Karma Yoga.
Prabhuji, I am reading a comment, a person called Omkar Sinde. So he is very much interested to going in this army. Yeah? I am reading his comments.
Yes, bro.
He is a confused person.
Oh, no. Who is this? I believe Taoism and Osho books.
Yeah, I saw his comment. I didn't reply him, although I explained him that. What did I say before this comment? I don't remember. Yeah, as you told me, I shared those 2 shorts about caste system, and then I don't know, probably he didn't watch at all.
Yes.
So I decided not to interact with him anymore.
He said in his young age, why they cannot write it properly?
Yeah, it's so annoying because I don't know. Looks like he missed a lot of English classes.
Yeah. He read Prabhupada books, but he doesn't know how to spell Prabhupada. That's so weird. What?
This name thing, the most stupid thing YouTube has ever done. It's so annoying. You cannot recognize who is who.
Yeah.
So weird names. Ah.
I think that intro is not needed. I read from there is one Reddit page that is called New YouTubers, and all the YouTubers write that they make new channels and then they try to make them good, and then they write their speculations on like what went wrong in their channel and why they didn't go up and what they did, and they analyze this. And there was one like they were talking that they were talking about intro. Someone asked that should we put intro? Everyone said in the comments that no, the intros are not like modern thing anymore. No one uses intros, they said. And yeah, I think the intros is not so good because that was like 2010 thing to have an intro. But now people don't have a attention span to listen to intro. They skip it or they just turn the video off. They lose the attention. So I don't think that intro can be only like max 3 seconds or something like this. It cannot be
I
anymore.
heard the opposite thing, that intro is a must, but it was about shorts, so I'm not sure.
Yes, Promo. Yeah, they were all at that Reddit saying that they don't put intros anymore.
Yeah, sometimes it works for me when I see right in the beginning the most important thing, and I'm hooked by this.
Yes, Prabhu.
Anyway, yeah, we can experiment and see what works.
I think I will delete this.
What is this?
Because there is 2 videos and the other is public and other is not.
Mm.
Oh, this is unlisted. I haven't rewatched it.
Yeah, I also need to rewatch. It's good to be fired up again by this.
Okay, Haribol, now let's go to 6 has to come first. Cheto darpanamarjanam bhavamahadavagnirvapanam Shreyah Kairavachandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purnamritasvadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam.
नामनामकारि बहुधानि च सर्वशक्तिस्तत्रार्पितानि यमितः स्मरणेन कालः एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन् ममापि दुर्दैवमीदृशमिहार्जुनिनानुरागः.
Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishnuna Manina Manatena Kirtaniya Sadahari.
न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवतद्भक्तिरहितुकीर्तयि
Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Vam Vishame Bhavam Buddho Kripa Tava Pada Pankaja Stida Duli Sadar Samvichintaya.
गदलमशूधरया वदनं गद्गदहृदया गिरा पुलकितचित्तं वपु कदा तव ग्रहणे
युगायितं निमेषेण चक्षुषा प्रविश्यायितं शून्यायितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दविरहेण मे.
आश्लिष्य वा पादरतं पिनष्टु मां मदर्शनं मर्म हतं करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विदधातु लम्पतो मत्प्राणनाथास्तु स एव नापरहम्.
Haribol. Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
O my Lord,
Oh my Lord, your whole. Okay, continue.
O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names. But I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them.
One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all senses of all species, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name.
O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, or nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after.
O son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet.
O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name?
So, in the feeling your separations, I am considering this moment to be like 12 years or more. So, my tolerance of pain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence.
If I
I
know,
know.
continue,
Okay,
continue.
bro. You
I know no one but Krishna is my Lord, and he has remained so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me, he is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord unconditionally.
Haribol, Sri Siksastakam ki jai, Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Panchati
Jai, Jai,
Prabhu ki jai,
Jai,
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Anusila
Jai,
Prabhupada ki jai,
Jai.
Jai Gaura Premanande, Haribol.
Hari
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 Bo.
Bol.
Shall